If y'all don't know, I love rainbows. I love them so much. So I'm gonna make a challenge out of it. I wanted to limit myself to only one hue of the rainbow for each character I designed. Not only to challenge myself a little with color, but also to teach myself a little bit about character design, because I suck at character design and writing backstories. So this is a monochromatic art challenge. I'm definitely not the first one to do it, but I wanted to create a character embodying each color on the color wheel, plus pink and magenta. Not only am I stuck with only using one singular color for each character, but I also have to create a character that embodies the psychology of said hue. For example, red can mean anger, power, lust, and passion. Keep in mind, I am limiting myself to only one hue, so I can't move the color wheel at all except to change the tint, the tone, and the shade, hence the monochromatic part of the challenge. Now y'all are probably exclaiming, hey, Athalie, what the heck is monochromatic even mean? Well, if you think about it, it's really just one hue on the color wheel like I mentioned before, but you can only change, the lightness and the darkness of it, and the saturation. So the saturation being how much color is in that particular spot. So I'm gonna jump right into the first color. This color is red. As I mentioned before, it usually symbolizes things like anger, power, lust, passion, luck, and also violence. I didn't want to get too raunchy for this video, so I decided to create a character whose whole personality is, well, big mad. I can imagine her as a rebellious daughter who finally moved out of her parents' house. Maybe she's finally able to express herself the way she wants, instead of the way her parents made her to be. I can imagine her parents being super strict in a very unhealthy way. And due to all the restriction of her childhood, she became very angry and resentful. I decided to give her a grunge or punk outfit with lots of spikes, because for me that feels angry, that feels not violent, like I do not want to be bashing the punk community at all, but it feels more aggressive in a way. I also added a bunch of skulls, leather, and some wear and tear. Maybe she left the house unprompted without telling her parents, or her parents decided to cut her off completely, so she had to thrift her clothes due to being flat broke. I made sure her hair was short and jagged as well, like she might have had to cut it herself. I also added lots of piercings, which I think she may have also done herself. She seems to be a very strong-willed and passionate person, but mostly stubborn. She might have gotten into a lot of fights, or is waiting for one to happen, but even with all the anger, I hope she might find peace by finding friends, creating her own kind of family. Maybe she'll find a group of people that are similar to her and she doesn't feel alone. I can imagine her friends convincing her to seek therapy, and she can finally let go of that anger she's been holding onto. Honestly, I really liked how this one turned out. Now, I did have to redo this one a few times because one, my art style had a bit of a change, so I felt a little bit like, the old one isn't too good. The next one, I made her sitting as a pose instead of her standing up. And the reason why I didn't go with that route was because I want to be able to see all these characters side by side at the end, and sitting, it makes it really hard to place them side by side. So that's basically why I redid this one a few times. But yeah, I really paid attention to the contrast, so I really hope it, translates well, especially since it's just one hue. You have to really focus on the contrast between like saturated, non-saturated, light, dark, whatever you name it. Next, on to red-orange, otherwise known as vermilion. With this color, I always thought of it representing health, vitality, energy, strength, willpower, and bravery. I immediately thought of a martial arts master, honestly, or something like that. Someone strong and healthy. I can imagine her being maybe part of a fight club, specializing in different forms of fighting. Maybe she targets pressure points like Athalie does from Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's what I was thinking of, because I always loved her as a character. But with this character, I see her as a bit more cool, calm, and collected, a very confident person who knows her strengths as well as weaknesses. Maybe she gets a little too confident at times and it bites her in the butt, but from first impressions, she seems to have it all together. I think one of her flaws, or her quirks I should say, would be that she's a huge hopeless romantic and can never keep relationships going for long. I feel like she love bombs a lot and scares everyone away that she crushes on, or as she puts it, falls in love with. She spends most of her day practicing, especially in the early mornings during sunrise. Anyone can look out the window and see her kicking her punching bag, or whatever martial arts masters do, I have no idea. I bet she'd be into meditation and mindfulness, which might be why she seems so calm and collected. I gave her a very long ponytail to emphasize her silhouette mainly, but with her outfit, I summoned the deepest crevices of my memory and used my Dragon Ball obsession when I was 15 as inspiration. I tried not to pull up any references of Dragon Ball characters because I didn't want to accidentally copy anything, especially the clothing styles directly, but I feel like I got the vibe down at the very least. I really like the pose I gave this character. It really brings out the confidence I wanted her to have. I also enjoyed the silhouette, the silhouette was really hard to do. I'm still learning about silhouettes, honestly. Y'all know I love prioritizing silhouettes in my posing, and honestly, other than the sketching portion, the silhouette portion is what takes the longest out of all my art process. I don't know, I think I did good on this one, but it's up to you to decide. Let me know in the comments. So I just want to let you guys know a few things before we get to the last color. One thing is that this video is actually quite old. I've only just recently gotten around to editing it, mainly due to either life issues, things with my real life work, because I do work full-time outside of YouTube, but mainly it was a motivational thing. Like, it was fine completing the challenge, but once I did, my art style improved so much more and it looked so different than before. Like, my art style didn't change. I think it was just the improvement over time. And you know how if you're an artist, you look back at your old art and you say, ew, that's disgusting. Nobody should ever see that. I can't believe I posted that. So that's what I was fighting with myself against. It was fighting that this isn't good enough for YouTube type of thing, because it's been so long. I usually like record my videos like a day or two after I post them and get them all edited in that time frame, because I'm scared of me hating my art, you know, like after a while. So I just want to get it out. I want to get it out in the world, because I know other people aren't going to see the mistakes that I did, but that's hard. So yeah, I've just been pushing off on this video. So I worked really, really hard on this. If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and click that like and subscribe, so that way I know I'm at least doing a little bit of a good job. And of course, if you liked the video. If you didn't, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I agree. I don't like this video either. Finally, we are at orange. Now, orange usually symbolizes positivity, adventure, energy, open-mindedness, and sociality. Social butterfly. Whatever that is. This is where I dove into the cutesy, because being positive is a very cute thing to me, as well as adventurous. So I dove into Pinterest for some outfit inspiration and found the absolute cutest little overall outfit and hat combo. I mean, those cat ears are so cute on that little hat. Honestly, I want one in real life, like really bad. I really need to save these references so I can show them in videos though, but you know what, you live and learn. I promise, I found it on Pinterest, I use it as inspiration. So this character is a super bubbly, happy-go-lucky type of person. She sees everything in an optimistic view, like a glass half full kind of girl. But she might be too optimistic at times. I see a lot of characters like these in media, but I also see a lot of these types of people in real life. It's almost like she embodies the fawn trauma response, which is really a little bit dark. Whoops. But I can imagine her doing everything she can to make everyone else happy around her, and if someone is still sad, she takes it personally, instead of understanding that she can't force people to be happy all the time. I think that would be a great start to character growth if she can finally accept that she can't change people. Or maybe no matter who she is nice to, she gets taken advantage of. Honestly, I feel like I called myself a little bit with this character design. This is a little too personal for me. Anyway, the silhouette turned out super good, I think, and the orange turned out really aesthetic in that monochromatic style. I feel like she just has those fall vibes. I added a few oranges to her character design too, obviously, like a little orange button on her collar, even though it's not too noticeable, and a big ol' orange on her overalls. I also added some stitching here and there, like she hand stitched her own overalls, and the striped sleeves were a good touch, I think. It gave a bit of more variety to the texture of her character. I don't know, I like how all the patterns both clash and go with each other, and it gives the character a lot of complexity. Honestly, I was so surprised at how easy these were to make. Like, I know I mentioned that I made these a long time ago, and now I don't like them anymore, but I'm still posting them anyway because I feel like you will like them. The drawings themselves did not take too long at all. A lot of my drawing process is taken up by the colors, because color theory is hard. I love it, but it's hard. So not having to worry about like all of those different color schemes. Also, these challenges are just really fun, and I enjoy these types of videos. Honestly, I'm really hoping the series works out, because I did draw everything in advance and record everything in advance. So again, make sure to click that like button and subscribe, so that way I don't have to stop doing this series. Speaking of series, the next video we will be going over orange yellow, yellow, and yellow green. So definitely stick around, keep an eye on my channel. I will be posting that in a week or two, depending on my schedule. But I want to try and do a bunch of different videos, so I post weekly. I love you guys. I will see you guys later, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, evening, or night, wherever you're at, and bye bye.